there's a long drive into left field. Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Back to the Window with Scott and Scott's opening day. Man, I'm excited to be here. I am Scott Steen, lead handicapper at winnersandwhiners.com. This handsome young fella to my left, your right, is
Scott Reichel, senior handicapper over winnersandwhiners.com.
And together, we do this each and every day, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, doing our best to guide everybody back to the window to cash those winning tickets. Scott, I can't get used to the new slow preview music. It's like it's about 20 beats per minute slower. It annoys me. Sorry.
I liked it better when it was faster.
Yeah, I did too, of course. So, of course, it's good to be here with you guys. For those of you keeping track at home, today's song to annoy Scott, Copperhead Road by Steve Earle. Glad I could trot that out for you, Scott. Had neither heard of Steve Earle or that song before, so I consider that a double victory. So,
I've heard of Copperheads and Roads, but never combined.
Never. I know guys named Steve, no guys named Earl, just not putting them together, huh?
Yep.
David Good says, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too, David, out there in Phoenix. What's up, Jacob Houston? Happy opening day. Back to you, brother. It is a great day. All things are possible. Royals are still in first place. I'm loving life. Scott, did you make any baseball plays today?
As of right now, no. I was actually thinking about doing a play the day for one. Didn't do it. Ended up doing basketball instead. My favorite baseball play on the overnight was the Diamondbacks team total over. I believe that was 3.5. But I was waiting for some win reports. I was waiting to see what was going on, some other aspects, lineup, stuff like that. So I might be taking a bit of a wait-and-see approach to start the season, and then I'll dive in more heavily after about a week or so.
Yeah,
we'll see. I said we'll see. I didn't say I was going to. I said we'll see.
I kind of agree. I kind of agree with that. You kind of got to see what you got out of some of these lineups. You're not going to find out much about the pitching one time through the rotation, but you will find out about how the hitters are doing, and it could be kind of a great opportunity to tread lightly because spring training was cut a little short. Yeah. A lot of these pitchers have made just a couple, 3 appearances. So go Royals and Cards -1.5. All right, jumping right in. I like it, David. I like it. We'll see about the Royals. I thought they were catching a pretty good number there with some value. I know Bieber's been really good on opening day. Didn't have a great year last year. Certainly not as good as 20. But you know what? We'll find out as that gets started here just momentarily. And yeah, that's about it. Of course, don't forget to like our video. Smash that like button. Don't forget to subscribe to all of our stuff, both our YouTube channel for Winners and Whiners and our YouTube channel for picks and parlays as well. Scott, you got anything to pump?
Not really.
Okay.
Just looking forward to the Masters and to baseball season.
Yeah, I know you got a Tiger Woods less than 4.5 bogeys. That is looking fantastic through about, 13, 14 holes?
Yeah, he just needs to not blow up. That's for the first round, by the way. So, of course, people were unloading the trucks for Tiger to win the actual tournament at absurd prices. You know, top 20s make the cut, whatever. I took the other approach of don't suck. Under 4.5 bogeys in the first round.
Right.
So hopefully that works out. He has 1 through 13 holes. So I'm in pretty good shape.
In pretty good shape. Brad Evans says he has the Guardians and the Royals under 7.5. I don't hate that. That was 8 last night. So people woke up and saw that wind is blowing. By the way, it is blowing, and it is officially 45 degrees here in Kansas City. Very close to the stadium with about an hour to go till game time. So it's going to be a raw day out there, my friend. Absolutely. Yeah, what else? Don't forget to check out all the great shows here at the Max Wagers Network. You've got Midday Money with Sean Higgs starting off at noon. You got Allie Burns at 1 o'clock doing her thing with Morning Wood. Then you got, of course, Chris and Jim, Just Parlays. You got us at 3 p.m. Bringing it home at 5 o'clock with the Earl twins. Speaking of Earl, I wonder if they're any relation to I never asked them if they're any relation to Steve Earle. That'd be excellent. Nick and Tim Earle, and joined, of course, by Detroit Lenny, who occasionally pops his head in here, as does Tim Earle. I guess Nick too good for us. You know, he didn't stop by. And then I know, Scott, in a couple of weeks, we've got a soccer guy going to fill in that gap at 4 o'clock. One of our, he's a real deal. He lives in New York and he has season tickets to Man United. Man, you got to love that kind of devotion. And he is a serious soccer cat, and I can't remember his name, of course. but he'll be filling in there at the filling in the blank there at 4 p.m. So,
You mean Miller?
yes, that's it. That's right. Is that right? Is that you know him?
Well, you said it yesterday,
Okay.
or Jim said him yesterday.
Yeah. The Renzo brothers. What up, guys? Scott R. See the Spurs team total overs 116.5. Still like it?
I think they'll get to 120. I got it at 115.5 for my play of the day. It's very tough to not automatically back an offense that's against the defense that's given up 125 in 5 straight games.
Mm-hmm.
Minnesota can't guard anybody. The last time they played, Spurs lost the game. They scored 139 anyway with no overtime. So I still like the offense. They've done pretty well without DeJounte, and they're still fighting for a potential home game in the play-in, so they still have something to play for. So I still like the over. I'll dare Minnesota's defense to wake up.
There you go. And it sounds like you're going to get a lot of good closing line value, and that certainly worked out well for us yesterday.
They kicked my ass yesterday.
Dude. We'll get to it. We got all that stuff to bitch about. I know there's a game that everybody wants to bitch about, and yeah, we are. JC Stone, Steve Earle, Copperhead Road, Hillbilly Highway. Don't forget Guitar Town as well. Another great album by Steve Earle. If you like a little country bluegrass kind of stuff, check out Steve Earle for sure. Bronco Devil says lived in Phoenix. I don't know why that guy. He lives everywhere, man. He's from Colorado. I know he's talked about being on the East Coast. Now he lives in Austin. Lives in Phoenix. Apparently, he wears out his welcome pretty quick. He got to see the Chargers. He got season tickets to the Chargers to see the Broncos and Patriots and Brady. The year Brady got hurt. See, that's not surprising because for a long time, when the Chargers would play, at least half the crowd was for the other team. Mm-hmm. How do you guys like the Angels tonight? Well, as long as they're in the outfield, I'm okay. Smart ass answer, Scott. You got a legitimate answer there.
I think as of right now, I'd have to lean to the Astros. From what I can gather from the injury reports, Trout is a maybe. I'm trying to remember if he's has an illness
form.
Yeah, he might not play. And of course, if Trout's going to be out, then that's going to probably move the line at least 20 cents, give or take. Yeah. So for me, I'm actually going to lean to the Astros, but that's mostly because I'm expecting Trout to potentially miss, which would result in a pretty big line move. So I'm going to gamble a little bit. I think the game's a toss-up anyway. Of course, Ohtani's a bit, I don't want to say overrated, but overvalued in the markets because
he sure is. Yeah,
because the bullpen sucks. So that also factors in. But I'm gonna go with the Astros there. Of course, they lost Correa. They're still pretty good. I think they're getting a good price.
Give me the Astros a plus money. I'm going to sign up for that just about every time. Plus, Framber Valdez is no hack at all. He really kind of came into his own last year. He's got a great slider. I was reading a piece on him last night. Said he has the 5th lowest WOBA against when he uses his slider. So some pretty impressive company there. Houston won 9 straight opening games. That's a good piece of info right there, MZ. Because I would say lineups turn over a little bit, but there's a few static pieces in there. So yeah, that could absolutely be a through line. Mets tonight up in your neck of the woods there, Skeeter. Mets, do they still have anybody left to pitch that hasn't gotten hurt yet?
Apparently McGill. But the Mets, if you want to actually look at historical trends, they're great on opening day. So I don't know if that means anything because you went from DeGrom and potentially Scherzer to McGill as your starter for opening day.
Jimmy McGill?
No, unfortunately not Jimmy McGill. I think we both agree the Nationals suck. So the Mets, even though they are going to be a bit shorthanded in the rotation to start, the lineup definitely improved. Picked up Marte, picked up Kana. They got some pieces there. Now, both bullpens are not exactly great. I think the Mets bullpen is better than the Nationals. But I'm going to lean to New York because I just think the Nationals are a terrible baseball team.
It's like being the skinniest person at fat camp. Yeah, they might have a better bullpen than the Mets, but I mean the better bullpen than Washington. But
it's not saying anything. But I mean, it's just a fact. The Nationals aren't good at anything.
Yeah, they really aren't. Jacob Houston, by the way, says the Angels bullpen always says, "Give me the Astros." If your name is Houston, don't you have to bet on Houston like every game?
It depends if you have a problem or not.
If they had the Steen City Rollers out there,
just walked right through the Houston "we have a problem" joke. Really?
Yeah,
that was right there.
Some of it's low hanging fruit, and some of it's already on the fucking ground. You can't.
Yeah, okay, that's fair.
You can't pick up everything.
All right.
Is Scott Jr. broadcasting from the jail day room? You know
No.
what? I was going to say something about, I asked him if he was in the tub, but then I saw that you're at your dad's shed, right?
But as of right now, I'm officially moving in about 2 weeks' time.
Oh, that's
So,
right. I don't think, have we shared that?
well, I'm moving to Brooklyn.
The
So
little bird's going
there
to
you go.
fly. You're
Yeah,
flying.
I'm moving to Brooklyn, so I'll have a setup there. Hopefully, it works out. I'll probably be flying in between there and Vegas half the time, but looking forward to it.
Very nice, and it's a big move. I know you of course lived on your own in college, so it's not the first time, but yeah, it's excellent. He's going to Brooklyn, and you're not going to sleep.
I found a good deal, a roommate that I'm friends with since basically elementary school, so it worked itself out.
Excellent, and that's a huge deal. Not having a roommate that you just kind of know casually or something. It's somebody that you know very well. So,
and both
very
go to
good.
bed at like 3 a.m., so it's a perfect situation for me.
Jacob Houston said he's actually related to Sam Houston, so he kind of has to do that. Yeah. Bronco Devil. Wait a minute. Oh, here it is. He's lived in Baltimore, New York City, Baltimore, Buffalo, Phoenix, Houston, Columbus, Houston, Dallas, Cleveland, Phoenix, Dallas, Austin, and the wife is from Colorado. Jesus. There you go.
It's a lot. Okay.
It is a lot. That is a lot. Bronco Devil transferred when I was a kid. Then I worked in television. Like television, I guess some like television news or something, huh? Oh, very cool. No sleep till Brooklyn. That's what James says. Don't sleep till Brooklyn. Yep. I was trying to make that joke, but James, I appreciate it. Hey, one more too. We'll do Jokic PRA. Was it 51 and a half?
Yeah, I mean, it's either over or pass. You'd be a madman to take the under on anything Jokic related, right?
Yeah, he's cranking it right now, man. And
they're not winning, but he's cranking it.
Yeah, well, are they? We've waited an entire year. Is Murray ever going to come back?
There were rumors that he might potentially be back for the playoffs. At least, I think that was a month ago.
Right.
I haven't heard anything about it since. I know Porter Jr. is done, so he's not coming back this season. They're screwed anyway. They're basically locked into the 6, not officially, but Minnesota losing to Washington, I think, kind of killed all their hopes for the 6. They can maybe get the 5 if they catch Utah. I don't see that happening. So Denver's kind of locked into the 6, but I think they're going to lose in the first round. They're not very good. It's not their fault. Their second and third best players are injured, but Jokic is kind of in a LeBron situation. You look up, he's got 35, and they're somehow still losing in the fourth quarter.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Son of a military father, 11 different schools, grades 1 through 12. That's brutal, man.
That's a lot.
That is a lot. Hey, Scott, let's talk a little bit about what happened yesterday. I feel like there's some things that we absolutely have to get to here. One more time, don't forget to like and subscribe to both our channels. We appreciate it now that everybody's here. And let's find out. Oh man. Okay. I was personally touched by at least 2 of these. I think maybe all 3, Scott. Maybe a rare day for me. Anyway, let's find out who it is. It's Thursday edition. And you know who you are. There were some winners. There were some whiners. There were some people that took it in the shorts. And there were some people that took it to the bank. You know who you are. Now we're going to tell the world. Let's find out who it is on the Thursday version of Call the Cops. All right. Very good, Scott. And we have rumored this, and now it has come to fruition. We'll start off in the NBA, and if you had the Suns team total over, we're kind of getting warmed up there. It's a rare double from Call the Cops on the same game.
It was the under. But...
We'll start with the easy one here. If you had the Suns team total under 108.5 going up against the Clippers, of course, they needed less than 48 points in the fourth quarter. Congratulations. Phoenix rested 4 starters, still didn't stop them. They put up 48 in the fourth quarter, 48-26. Jesus Christ. Suns finished with 109 points. Wow, Scott, that was quite a comeback. I wonder if it affected anything else.
Well, it's going to segue us into the spread, because if you had the Clippers minus 6.5 against the Suns, once basically everybody was ruled out for Phoenix, they led by 33 points with 2:16 left in the third quarter. The biggest lead was 39. The Suns outscored the Clippers 58-29 over the last 14 minutes and 16 seconds. The Clippers won by 4.
Jesus. Oh man. Okay. Well,
Rough.
rough indeed. And let's talk about this one, shall we? If you had the Wizards Hawks under 229 and a half, needed just 98 points in the second half.
We had this.
That should be over, by the way. You had the Wizards Hawks over 229 and a half. They needed just 98 in the second half. Don't change it now. I already said it.
I already changed it.
They did not get 98, Scott. They got 89. They were a little dyslexic. 89 points in the second half. That game landed 221. You can throw your closing line value right in the trash. Fucking 5.5 points, 6.5 points. Scott, even 7.5 points if you had that at 37 or 27 and a half. None of it fucking mattered. Congratulations. Brutal beat. Call the cops.
Yeah, I slammed it. I had 227 and a half. Even though I won my play of the day, I had a losing day yesterday because of the amount that I loaded up on that over. I mean, you had 71 points in the first quarter, then 61 in the second quarter.
Yep.
You just need them not to be stupid. And then they couldn't make a shot for the first 7 minutes of the second half.
Drooling on their shoes for the first 7 minutes of the third quarter.
I think there were 13 points combined in the first about 7-8 minutes of the third quarter.
That's fantastic. Just fantastic. All right. Well, there was some good news out there, and we weren't on the right side of any of these. At least I wasn't. But you were for your play of the day, right?
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. Well, let's find out who it is. Who we heard about all the whiners, man. There was a couple big ones right here on your radio dial, but there was some good news out there. There were some people that had cashed those nice, easy tickets. They spent their Wednesday evening sitting in the rocking chair.
So the first one was my play of the day. If you had the Celtics -6, -6.5, it was all the way up to 7.5. Didn't matter. They led by 16 at the half, and they won by 23. The Bulls are now 2-21 straight up against top 8 teams in the league. Frauds? Is that a good way to put it?
I don't know about frauds, but perhaps we'll just be nicer and say overvalued. How about that?
I'm not even sure if there is any value anymore. They get buried every time they play a team with a pulse.
All right. Well, if you had the Mavericks Pistons over 219, yeah, I was on the other side of that. Congratulations. But if you had the over, congratulations, because each quarter had at least 57 points. That's put you in pretty good shape right there. That game landed 244. Mavs Pistons over 219. Congratulations, you were in the rocking chair.
And the last one, if you had the Phillies on the money line against the Rays, they led 8-0 after 2 innings, and they won 9-2.
Yep, nice way to finish up the season there for the Phillies. So, Scott, this one is another one that I had, and it certainly deserves its own little category because it was right up there in your neck of the woods. A lot of people were on the other side of this, and I know they were happy. When I graded a lot of picks last night that had the other side of this, and congratulations, you had a no-doubter. Scott, let's find out who it is today as we check out the Thursday edition of I'm Not Mad. Fuck it. I'm mad, but I'm also disappointed. All right. Go ahead.
So, you had a game at MSG last night between the Knicks and the Nets. Knicks opened up a huge lead. They were up 21. They were kind of coasting in the first half. And then the Nets realized we got them right where we want them because the Knicks in double-digit leads don't exactly work out too well most of the time. The Nets came all the way back. Also, another honorary member of Call the Cops, but, we could use it for its own segment because the Knicks didn't even cover. They were getting 6.5, and they led by 21 points. And they ended up falling apart in the fourth, ended up losing the game by double digits. It is the fourth time this season that the Knicks have blown a 20-point lead and lost the game.
Scandalous. Just fucking scandalous. That's all I can say about that. It turned what should have been a very good night for me into a dreadful night. That was just unbelievable, Scott. Unbelievable. I was at the bowling alley watching my kid bowl. They had the game on. I was watching. I kept looking up, seeing the score. I'm like, what is it? Wait. What now? The Nets are ahead. How is that even possible? So,
by the way, fun fact. No memorabilia mentioning the Nets have won 7 straight. against the Knicks. That is definitely true. Trivia question for you. Do you know what year was the last time Durant lost to the Knicks?
2014.
2013.
Ah, damn it.
He was on Oklahoma City. That's
Yeah,
the last time that that Durant has lost to the Knicks.
I was figuring that. Nets own the Knicks. Yeah, I know. Everybody's like really smart because everybody's like, fuck, and it was the Nets the whole way.
Truth is, I like the
I
Nets
don't wanna
going
hit-
in just because Robinson got called out at the last minute, and I figured the Knicks would kind of roll over. I thought they would get off to a decent start, but I thought eventually they would run out of gas. 20-point lead, that's still a brutal beat. I didn't think it would be that bad. But, I mean, the Knicks were in it. I just question motivation. They were motivated. They just suck.
Bronco Devil says, "Did you see the LeBron tweet saying you better watch out? You
better not cry?
out." Yeah,
Yeah.
I did not. Is it like for next year? We're going to come back stronger and blah blah blah. Is that
Keep
what
the
it is?
same energy. No, I know he said on the shop he wants to play with Curry, or that's one player on his bucket list. I mean, he's played with him in the All-Star game a couple of times. Does that count?
No, apparently not, because he still wants to play with him.
Yeah, I don't think Curry's going to go to the Lakers. So, hint, hint. Maybe the Lakers should trade LeBron. Just saying. We'll see.
LeBron with the Christmas Carol. Yes, absolutely. That's it. 1777. You got any thoughts on the playoff future, Scott?
You're talking about for the NBA?
I am.
Let me
kind
see
of a
what we
broadside
got
there.
here.
I know we haven't talked. We didn't even talk about that in pre-show, but
No, because I have a couple of props that I recommended on a podcast a couple weeks ago, but it's not even playoff. It's actually just to make the playoffs. I recommended the Cavs to miss the playoffs at about plus 560, and the Nets to miss the playoffs at about 6-1 or so. The Nets realistically should get in because right now, assuming they end up beating Cleveland in the next game in Indiana, they would be actually the 7. So they actually are in a good spot right now after that comeback win yesterday. The Cavs at plus 560 are an absolute treat. Because right now they're, I think, still favored to make the playoffs, but they're completely imploding.
right.
There's no way around it. They're a mess. And they would have to play the Nets and then the winner of the Hawks and Hornets. I like whoever the hell wins that Hawks-Hornets game because I think Cleveland actually might miss the playoffs. You?
Yeah, I think that's very possible. Yeah, Bronco Devil says the LeBron tweet was the haters better watch out.
Yeah.
God, just sit down. Just sit down until the playoffs are done. We're done with LeBron for a while.
Cavs to make the playoffs. Make the playoffs is minus 120. Misses minus 105. I got it at plus 560. So fingers crossed.
Ooh, got that good closing line value.
Yeah, I can't wait to throw it in the trash can.
No, I like your shot there. That's the kind of shit you just dream about right there.
Mm-hmm.
Having, plus 400% or whatever. Spurs tonight plus 8.5 against Minnesota. Yeah, for me, that's going to be Spurs or pass. Again, this Minnesota team, good offense, Scott, but that's only half the story because they cannot guard anyone at all. They have given up, I'm trying to see here, they've given up 130 plus in 4 of their last 5. The game they didn't give up 130, they gave up 125 and lose by 23 to Toronto. So, yeah, I'm not going to, there's no way I'm going to lay points with a team that can't keep somebody under 130. Now, San Antonio not having a great offensive season, but they have been better lately. And yeah, I like them. What do you think San Antonio puts up there, Scott? 125?
I mean, I got the team total over, so I have them for basically 120 in my head.
Okay. So at 120, which I think that's low. I think that's a fucking bargain.
Mm.
But I've got them closer to 125. And does Minnesota cover that if the Spurs can get to the mid 120s?
Well, the last time they played, San Antonio scored 139, and they still lost by 10 because Minnesota scored 149 and Towns at 60 points. So defensively, they're not great either. Total in this one's 240 or so. I still like the over. I don't think you're going to see much defense there. But I think it's San Antonio or pass. I don't mind the money line here. But You can argue Minnesota might be motivated after having that no-show against Washington. I'm viewing it more as a red flag because they gave up 120, 130 give or take points to Washington.
That's hard to do, by the way.
That's hard to do. So I think the Spurs should do what they want offensively. Minnesota probably will as well, but I can't lay 8.5 with a team that has just checked out defensively. So I don't mind Spurs money line. I don't mind the spread. I got the team total as my favorite play.
Yep.
I guess the one concern I had was potential rest with injuries, but no, the Spurs are still competing for home court for the 9-10 play-in game.
Mm-hmm.
So the game still matters for them. I like the Spurs.
Yep, I'm with you. 1777 talks about everybody's all over the Suns, but he wants to see how Curry is coming back from Golden State. I'm the same way. That's what I want to see. I want to see what this Golden State team is. I think you are underrating them just a little bit, Scott. They were the best team in basketball for the first 6 weeks.
Well, I'm being pessimistic, as a classic gambler move because I have a ticket on them to win the title. So I'm automatically lowering expectations in my head. I got him in a parlay, so I got him at basically 50-1 to win the title, which is just an insane deal for me. I got pretty lucky. I hit the other legs of the parlay, but still, right now I got 2 future bets, 3 if you include Coach of the Year, but that's kind of a done deal. I have the Suns to win the West, also a parlay. I got that at, I want to say 30-1, I think. And I have the Warriors to win the title at 50-1. So the one thing I'm rooting for is the Suns and the Warriors to not be 1-4. I want them to match up in the Western Conference Finals worst case scenario. So I'm really rooting for Golden State to win out or for Dallas to lose because I don't want Golden State to be the 4. But I'm acknowledging that with Looney, no Wiseman coming back, they have no front court depth at all. Right. Draymond really has not been very good. And I'm looking at a situation where Golden State really relies so heavily on Curry, and he struggled for a decent portion of the year. I'm concerned about them having enough supporting cast depth to overcome a mediocre series from Curry. I think that's my main concern.
That's fair enough, and that's all legit. And they've lacked in the front court all season long. So
Clay's been streaky, Poole's been amazing, but Wiggins has been streaky too. So assuming Curry has his usual performances, 20-something points, 44% shooting, 43% shooting. Am I sure they can win a series against Memphis? And again, I don't know about that. I don't know.
Right. Somebody talking about the Sixers-Raptors game tonight, possible or most likely preview of the 4-5 matchup here in the playoffs. It could go a little differently. The Bulls could allegedly catch them, but it's just about a fait accompli at this point. So here's my question for you about those kind of games, Scott. How much do you show them? Do you show everything? Do you sit anybody? Do you have any tricks up your sleeve? I mean, you probably played them 3-4 times this year, probably 3 times already this season. So have you showed them everything? Is there anything you hold back? What do you do there? Or are you trying to make a statement?
I don't know if Toronto knows how to take their foot off the gas because that's just how they've played all season long. Philly, of course, still competing for the potential 1 seed, realistically the 2 seed. I don't think anyone's catching Miami at this point, but the game still matters for Philly. And you can make the serious argument that if they were facing off in a playoff series, who the hell is going to guard Embiid? Because you have Siakam playing center, and I like Siakam, but I really just don't know how anybody on the Raptors' smaller roster is going to match up with Embiid. So there's a reason why the favorite has switched in this game and why a lot of money's pouring in on Philly. It's because of the fact that Embiid is probably going to go for 35 again. He's going for a scoring title. Harden has not really shot the ball at all recently, but he's a good facilitator. Maxi's been good. I believe he had 7, 8 threes last game against Indiana. So he's been playing well. Harris has been okay lately. But of course they have no Tybal because it's in Canada. So in a playoff series, Tybal would not be able to play road games. But he's useless offensively. Great defensively. So I like the over in that game with Tybal being out. But I really do like the Toronto team.
Okay.
Who do you think would win in a series? I think Toronto would actually give them a serious run for their money. I see that going 7.
The Sixers have the home court in that one.
Yeah.
I've got to take the Sixers 4-3.
But I think you'd agree it would go. Yeah, you agree it'd go 7 though. I think it would be a war.
Yep, agreed. I think it's going to be a great series. 1777 says Warriors went 2-1 with Curry in the lineup. That's correct. Jacob Houston, I believe, is done with basketball. Well, not done with basketball. He's ready for basketball to be over. This is always the time that basketball really seems to drag. I don't know. I don't want to make another 2 bowling references in the same show, but if you guys have ever bowled like a winter league, you get to about the end of February, beginning of March, and you look up and you see you got like 8 or 10 more weeks. You're like, how the fuck is that possible? And I feel that way about the NBA this year, Scott. It's just like, and I think part of it was we didn't take as much of a break because they were done with the finals in late July, like right after the All-Star game, the finals were over. So we really only had 3 months without basketball, and then we're right back at it. And we're just grinding it through here. So yeah, I'm kind of with you, even though the NBA is probably been my best sport the last 9 months. But yeah, I'm ready for baseball, man.
Yeah, memorabilia mentioning that if the refs stop calling fouls in favor of Philly, they could lose. That's kind of what I'm banking on because of the fact that we know Embiid and Harden together make up a decent amount of their points at the line. I just think Harden's going to suck. I've seen the last couple of regular season games. You can tell he's clearly not 100%. He's not looking for a shot as much anymore. And the explosiveness that he was known to have off the dribble is, for the most part, gone. Can I say that?
Yeah.
So I think that he's going to have serious problems in the playoffs.
Okay. Bronco Devil says Tiger Woods on the little TV, Cubs on the big TV, and us on the computer. It's said a beer would make it perfect. You know, we ought to come up with a special segment called "Living Your Best Life," and there's my initial candidate right there because that motherfucker is living his best life. Is it getting better now, Scott?
Not really, unless you have multiple TVs.
That's it. That's the only way. So,
You're asking if Harden's not interested. I think part of it is Philly potentially force feeding Embiid to get the scoring title. So I do think Rivers might be trying to make sure that Embiid gets that scoring title. Plus, nobody can guard him, so he's going to walk into 40 almost every game. But if you've watched Harden the last week and change, offensively, when it comes to shooting, he has done basically nothing. And I think that's going to continue in the playoffs.
Yeah, we had that nice little spurt when he came over, when he first started playing.
2-week honeymoon phase, and then you saw him getting treatment on the leg, and you could see the shooting numbers falling off a cliff. The turnovers are still not great, but in close games late, you know that Harden's going to want the ball in his hands when the ball shouldn't be in his hands. And I think that's going to be the issue that they're going to run into.
Ninja has a solid strategy. Fade the Kraken, take the Blackhawks.
Well, the Kraken are awful, so I can't really argue with that.
Nope.
As for the Blackhawks, I don't know if I can really back them the entire time. Of course, tonight they play the Kraken. So, in general, I like Chicago tonight. Chicago's not any good, especially since they got rid of Fleury. They don't have a goalie, and their team stinks anyway. So, yeah, they're not very good.
Very good. Worked 40 years to be able to earn this. Absolutely, dude. I completely get it. That's just excellent. You're absolutely living your best life, brother. And I appreciate you making us part of that because I'm not sure I wouldn't give up the computer for another screen right now.
I'd be taking a nap.
Are you gonna be able to sleep there in Brooklyn?
Yeah, why not?
It's gonna be. I don't know if it's gonna be as quiet as your neighborhood there.
No, it's a pretty quiet area. It's not extremely, I'd say, busy. It's a pretty quiet neighborhood, which is good for me. But it's close enough to the action that I could take an Uber or something.
Yep. Ninja said there isn't much value left on the first 5 under in the Royals game. Too low now.
No score first inning.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea either.
I don't think of Greinke. I mean, we talked about this game briefly yesterday. I said I liked the under, but I don't know what Greinke we're going to get, and I don't know what Bieber we're going to get. So I was kind of staying away. But of course, the wind is going to help out the under, or it should.
Yep.
Team total under for somebody, but the truth is, once again, I want to see what Greinke we get because in the back half of the year last year, he was awful.
Yeah. By the way, Ninja, I agree with you at 3.5. That makes all the fucking difference in the world to me. It was at 4.5 yesterday, and now it's the bottom's falling out of that number, and so now we've gone to a juiced under 7.5. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. Well, we don't have much time until game time, so yeah, I think it'll stick at 7.5. But you're paying minus 125 for it. So as far as the full game, and yeah, then it sucks. But it's still a reminder: the Royals game is free on MLB TV. I did not know that. David Good's going to play. Speaking of living your best life, he's going to go play golf in 40 minutes. Excellent. And Tate the Great says, I like Embiid 32.5, Harden under 20.5. I solidly endorse both of those plays.
I mean, Embiid, if Philly wants to win games, Embiid should be going for 35 plus. Toronto's undersized. You might see a little bit more Chua or some of these other centers they have. They're not very good. I don't think it's going to matter. Embiid should probably end up going for 35 to 40 in this game.
Jojo Rabbit checking in. Let us know the Brewers are up 1-0. Yeah, I saw that. They had a pretty well hit ball to first base, bobbled it just enough to take the double play off the table. Not sure he would have gone home anyway, but had no shot at a double play anywhere. So the old 3 unassisted RBI. We'll take it.
To Lorenzo can.
No score first inning, minus 255. Too much juice.
It's minus 250. You mean 155?
155. Okay. Sorry, that's my bad. That is pretty.
It's a lot of juice.
It really is. I like that play, but man, I'm not going to get involved in first inning anything more than probably minus 135.
Yeah, I agree. Especially with me not knowing what Greinke's going to show up, I'm going to pass.
Yep. I agree. They could, top of the Cleveland order could be. They've got some speed at the top of the order, so they don't even have to hit the ball hard to get some guys in scoring position. So. You know what I haven't asked you? 4.5 is so much better. Oh yeah, dude, so much better. It makes all the difference in the world. That's a huge run. It's 20? It's 25% of the value right there, gone just about. So, we never talked about in all our baseball stuff. Scott, what do you think about the designated hitter? And I'd like to put it out to our fans as well. What you guys think about the designated hitter in the National League?
I'm a fan of it. I think it's stupid to make terrible hitters hit the ball. I mean, I'm also biased because as a Yankees fan, I remember Ching-Meng Wang getting injured running the bases against Houston about 10 years ago or so, and ended the season. Borderline his career because he was a Cy Young candidate for 2 straight years, won 19 games in 2 straight years, and then he was never the same guy after that. But I know that you occasionally have a DeGrom or a Syndergaard or a Bumgarner, and you have these moments. Hell, Carlos Zambrano, who can hit some home runs and make it entertaining.
Greinke.
Most of the time, you keep the bat on the shoulder and you strike out. I don't care. Just give me an actual batter. It's a waste of time.
All right. Bronco Devil says his juice limit is 140. 17. Yeah, that's fine. 1777 already roasting Royals fans. Greinke on the mound and then laughing face emoji. Hey, give me 1 day. All right, give me 1 day to be excited here. For ratings purposes, it's time to make change. And I was looking into some MLB ratings from the end, and damn,
I get it at strategy and all, but do you really want to see a guy batting below 100 with 3 at bats? Of course not. So what's the point? As
somebody who loved playing unders in the National League, especially first 5, I don't like to see it because you knew playing first 5, you were going to see the pitchers bat a minimum of once and quite possibly twice. So I hate interleague though, Michael. Really? Now, see, I kind of like it. I like seeing different teams that I don't ever get to see instead of seeing the fucking the Twins for the umpteenth time. I get to see the Mets play or the Marlins play. Yeah, no, I like that.
Well, I also think one thing to keep in mind is looking at strikeout props for the National League because you're not being granted a free 2 strikeouts every game now.
Correct. Absolutely.
So keep that in mind.
Correct. David Good said, I like pitchers striking out and looking like fools. However, it does give the rest of us hope. That it, David. It's like 4-hour games. Too much. Yeah. Bring on the DH. All right. Fair enough. I'm enough of a traditionalist to kind of feel a little twang when I see
it's different, it made both leagues unique.
Yeah.
But I don't really care. I like to see runs, though. I am biased towards better offense as a viewer in any sport. So if you can give me more runs and another batter, another shot at a home run, I'm for it. So
I know you've expanded your baseball repertoire lately. Bronco Devil wants to know if we like playing runs, hits, errors. I will absolutely make those plays. I think there's value, and I think defense is underrated. I think you can't discount the error part of that. Scott, what do you think?
for me, I have done that in the past. However, one issue that I run into is that they don't really give you runs, hits, and errors for one individual team. It's usually for the entire game, both teams combined, right?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a problem because if you're expecting one team to do most of the heavy lifting, then you can't bet the prop. But you're looking at a situation where you're going to take that in Coors Field, where both teams might score 20. But if that's the case, you can also just take the over.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out when it's a good situation to take runs, hits, and errors instead of just taking an over or an under. You know?
Fair enough.
Because you're basically just saying, I like the prop, but they have to strand 15 guys on base.
Right. Yeah.
So I would
I agree.
rather just take the over.
That's a little thread in the needle sometimes for real. Somebody asking about the Cardinals today with the 68-year-old Adam Wainwright on the mound. Where you at? Where you at on him?
He owns the Pirates so badly, man. He owns that damn team. Now the issue is going to be the wind in this game. There's a lot of wind blowing out to right field, about 18 miles per hour, which should result in more runs. The problem, though, is that the Cardinals own Brubaker, but their lineup is practically entirely made up of righties. So
Yep.
they haven't really adjusted to the wind or anything. So we'll see how that works out. Wainwright might give up a couple of home runs, maybe because of the fact that you have Vogelbach and some powerful lefties batting. But Wainwright historically owns that damn team. I like the Cardinals because Wainwright kills that team every single year for the last 15 years.
Yeah, I can't get behind Brubaker in this weak ass Pittsburgh lineup. I can't do it. You know, at some point Wainwright's going to hit the wall, but I think we're getting good value in like what is it, like minus 139.
I don't know how many years you can wait for him to hit the wall before you realize that he's just Ponce de Leon. He's got the fountain of youth, he's just hanging in there.
The Brady of Major League Baseball.
Pretty much.
Jacob Houston says, I've got the St. Louis team total over 4.5. Yes, I like that. Give a Brubaker to give up over 4.5 hits. Yes, also like that as well.
One also thing I noticed, BetMGM does have earned run props for starting pitchers. So if you want to be even more dangerous for team totals and you want to maybe get an extra inning out of it, find a way to maybe get 6 innings for a team total of 2.5 or so. Of course,
Right.
An error and you're screwed, but earned runs, though, I saw Darvish last night over 2.5 earned runs at plus 115. There might be some value to be found. Just saying.
I like that. Bryce wants to know how I like Greinke back to the Royals, or I guess either one of us. Was drafted by them in 2005, full circle, to be the ace. Hopefully something left in the tank. Yeah.
It's a win-win for you guys.
I agree, Bryce. They're giving him $13 million. I got to be honest with you. If they'd have made this, if they'd have made this deal, if it was somehow been a trade for him of middle of last season, which of course wasn't going to happen with the Astros making a run, but he had a good first half, and then the second half happened, and especially the last month, it was brutal. We've talked about
he was basically left off the playoff roster. He was that bad.
Yes, yeah, he was
practically.
And Scott and I made a nice little chunk of change fading him late in the year. I don't know, Bryce. I'm anxious to see. I wish we had a good enough pitching staff where he was the crafty veteran in the 4 or 5 spot. I don't think Greinke is in any way, shape, or form still an ace, even if he's because his velo is down, and that's what I worry about more than anything because that's could he be? Is he a crafty pitcher that knows how to pitch and he knows batters? Absolutely. I don't think nobody's smarter about hitters than Greinke is, but.
Except when he tips his pitches to the opposing hitters for no apparent reason.
Well,
that's his personality. That's his thing.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out a nice way to say that. No runs first inning in the Reds game.
I know Molly has good numbers against Atlanta, but the wind's blowing out. You have that lineup. The Reds lineup isn't terrible either. I know they lost in pieces. They're still pretty talented.
What do we lay in there? I would think of $135, $140.
For no run first inning?
Uh-huh.
Oh, no. I'd assume it was like minus 115.
Oh, well, if the wind's blowing out. With
In
Freed
Atlanta's ballpark with the wind blowing out, it's
Freed on
probably
the
like
mound,
minus
no?
115.
Okay.
I'm going to
Then
check right now, but if I had to guess without looking, I would guess 115.
it's got
But let me see what I
a
can get.
reasonable number. I just thought with that pitching matchup, it'd be a little stronger.
Minus 120.
Okay. All right. Making all these changes with the DH, but the pitchers. Yeah, see, that's in 1777. Remember, really points that out. It's all about the pitching. It's with the end of the day. We talked about it on our baseball preview. It's the only sport where you can have a team that's minus 160 on one day, and the same lineup is going to be plus 120 on the next day because of the pitching matchup. So yeah, it is entirely dependent on the pitcher. So
by the way, I see Jacob talking about how BetMGM has good props for baseball. You don't say. That's news to me, right? That was our official baseball book last year.
Did you think you were going to be able to bet that legally in just a year from when we were just crushing that last year?
No, but I'm happy. I'm happy I can. So that's definitely nice. I know that I saw before somebody was asking about the Celtics and Bucks game to go back to basketball. It's right now it's either Bucks or pass because the Celtics are resting basically everybody. They beat the Bulls yesterday, and they decided, you know what, we're not really feeling this game. So Tatum's not going to play. Horford's not going to play. Smart might not play. They're benching half their team.
Yep.
I can't back the Celtics here. I'd look probably at a Bucks team total over, just because the defense, I'm assuming, is going to fall off a cliff with all the injuries or all the people missing. But yeah, the Celtics are resting everybody. I want nothing to do with them.
Bronco City took it. The Angels is pick of the day. Godspeed, sir.
I'm leaning Houston, but it's a coin flip game, so I'll take the Astros. But
yep. Bovada has too much juice on the props. I agree. I
don't think it's a bad thing though, because I'm assuming the over is what you're talking about, Bronco. If you use offshore books, they tend to extremely cater to public bettors. So if you want to be contrarian and take some unders, which are not fun, but if you want to take unders on player props, you will probably find much better lines there than other books because of how much juice is on the over.
Well, that's right, and that's a good point. There's when you've got a zero-sum prop like that, if you've got a lot of juice on one side, you're gonna have the other side. So, solid round so far from the Big Cat. Just rolled into 20-footer on 16. There you go, buddy. Excited?
I think that's a winner in my book, right?
Yeah, I think you're good. Good. All right. Speaking of winners, let's get to it, guys. Let's find out what we got cooked up for today. It's Thursday, man. It's time to put on your overalls, grab that straw hat, climb aboard your John Deere. Watch out. It could be raining. It might be a little slick. So be careful climbing up there. Get your straw hats on, kids. Get those keys out and fire that bad boy up because it's time once again to bet the farm. All right, there it is. And that what?
I don't have the hat with me.
Why don't you bring the hat with you?
I just forgot to.
Did you not get the case?
The case? No, I did not get the case.
The case for the hat?
The traveling case? No,
the travel case, right?
No, I didn't get the traveling case. No, that I didn't get.
Okay, bring your fucking hat, Jesus! What looks stupider than two guys wearing hats? One guy wearing a hat. One guy wearing a hat. That's right. Yeah. And that guy going, "Where's your fucking hat?" All right, well, fuck. Hopefully you can make picks better than you wear hats, buddy. So first of all, how'd we end up yesterday?
We had the Celtics team total over, and they got there.
Woohoo! Yeah. Man, you look really dumb jamming out like that without a hat on. Just saying.
Thanks.
All right. Well, my friend, it's time once again. Let's reveal it. What do we got cooked up for today?
So for this one, we're going to go to one of the NBA games we did not talk about. which is going to be in a matchup between the Lakers and the Warriors. The Lakers are on TV again, and you know what that means. We're going to fade it. We're going to take the Warriors minus 14. Looking at the actual trends this season, the Warriors have been very good at home. They are 30 and 10 at home this season. Lakers are 11 and 28 on the road. But the Lakers recently have been extra awful. They've lost 7 in a row. On top of that, the Warriors much better defensively. Golden State ranks second in the league in defense efficiency, while Los Angeles ranks 22nd. And the main reason why, LeBron's injured, Anthony Davis is injured. They added Westbrook to the mix. So they got the trio, the three amigos on the bench together, or maybe not even in the venue together. But you have a Lakers G League squad against a Golden State team that really needs to win moving forward to try to fend off the Mavericks for the 3 seed. I expect Golden State to bury them. I think Golden State wins by 20.
Generally speaking, laying gigantic numbers is not something that you like to do in the NBA. However, this is the week to do it. This is the time of year when you have teams with drastically different motivations, albeit some of them have no motivation, while the other team is all motivated. So
even the supporting cast, like you think Dwight Howard, who joined the team to try to win a title,
yes,
is thrilled to be playing a meaningless game in the final? No, nobody's going to care. I think they're going to roll over.
Absolutely. So that's going to be bet the farm for today. It's going to be the Golden State Warriors minus the 14. By the way, guys, we had a chance to take minus 13.5 at minus 125. And at that point, paying 15 cents extra juice for just a half a point, going from 13.5 to 14. We didn't think that was a very good value. So if we land 14, you can roast us to no end. But we like the Warriors to win comfortably, probably by 20 plus.
Yeah.
Okay, there you go. Thanks very much. And thanks very much to you guys for stopping by today. You're going to be there all weekend in the shed, Scott?
No.
Just for tonight?
Yeah, I was there last night, actually. So I'll be back for the background tomorrow.
Okay. Well, there you go. He'll have his hat back tomorrow, everybody, and the background. Get excited about that. We appreciate you guys stopping by. As always, we do this each and every day, 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. Scott and I will do our very best, hats or no hats, to help you in your journey to head back to the window. Take care, everybody.